Every second that drags while your startup drifts in uncertainty is another second your dreams bleed out. The endless chasing, the calls that go nowhere, the PDFs nobody reads, the endless coffee meetings stretching into infinity. Each second a dagger twisting deeper into the gut of your ambition. It suffocates. It crushes. Investors ghosting, founders doubting, time slipping like water through cracked fingers. Yet just beyond this pit of chaos and frustration lies something else, a searing truth almost nobody talks about out loud. The skill that turns weeks into days, days into hours. The formula that lets startups close rounds not in months, not weeks, but in 48 hours. Imagine that. Imagine flipping the game so hard the rules don't matter anymore. This isn't magic. It isn't dumb luck. It's a brutal precision born of understanding chaos, mastering connection, and ripping apart every false assumption standing between you and your capital. Let's be clear. The system, the so-called rules of fundraising, the endless slides decks, networking events, and hoops, it is all a lie wrapped in a velvet glove. It promises access but delivers delays. It sells you freedom but chains you to convention. Most founders get stuck there, wading through a swamp of mediocre advice, drowning in noise made for the many, not the few who burn. But here's the secret. Those who pull fast rounds, lightning rounds, don't play by those tired rules. They reject the narrative spoon-fed by the world that says, wait your turn, fit in, play small. These rare few are not waiting for permission. They are not fishing for validation. They are architects of a different reality, where time bends, where connection is batteries-free electricity. Closing rounds in 48 hours is not about speed alone. It's about understanding that the greatest capital is not money. It's trust supercharged and compressed into moments that cut through noise like a laser. You feel the weight of fragmentation every day. Investors and founders in parallel but never touching. Brilliant ideas dying in silence because nobody knows how to spark the right frenzy. The problem isn't lack of talent or vision. It's alignment, or more precisely, misalignment. The world screams for conformity, while the extraordinary get lost in the cracks. You're not just chasing money. You're hunting not just investors, but the exact right pulse, the exact right resonance. When that happens, the concept of slow round dies a sudden death. But how? How does a founder suddenly become a magnet instead of a whisper lost in the noise? The answer is ruthless simplicity. Create a microcosm where scarcity, urgency, and extreme clarity collide so sharply that hesitation becomes impossible. Where the only question is, when do I sign? That's the dirty secret most don't want to admit. They manufacture scarcity and urgency, not by creating fake deadlines or pressure tactics, but by crafting connections so real and clear that the chance to invest becomes a rare, precious event. It's about building a narrative that resonates with an investor's deepest instincts. The drive to discover and own what others overlook, to be part of something not just big, but unavoidable. It starts way before a round opens. It's about the quiet, invisible work, forging bonds so tight that investor conversations aren't about terms, but about how fast they can get involved. The fastest closes happen when the founder understands the investor's psyche so intimately, it's like reading their thoughts, tailoring every word, every document, every call, until the deal stops being about dollars and becomes about destiny. Most entrepreneurs waste weeks sending cold emails, building lists, and dreaming of responses that never come. But those who close in 48 hours don't do that at all. They don't fish blindly. They hunt precisely. They surround themselves with a network so curated, so sharp, that every meeting is a chance to ignite a chain reaction. Each person in that network is a node of power, and the round closes when those nodes trigger one after another. A domino effect of commitment that doesn't end until the last signature lands. This is orchestra conductor level fundraising. And the baton? It's invisible, but it's driven by authenticity. Founders who can barely fake excitement fail. Investors smell desperation like blood and water. Instead, those who close fast embody confidence so sincere it's contagious. They don't beg. They invite. They don't plead. They provoke action by making vision so urgent, so tangible, the opportunity becomes a wildfire nobody can ignore. Now listen carefully. This world, this ecosystem of lightning-fast closes, is not for the many. It's for the few with grit brutal enough to burn bridges behind them, to reject the comfort of playing by the book, to hold focus when everything screams distraction. It is for founders who refuse to live a life borrowed from someone else's script, for investors tired of noise and desperate for impact. This is a new playbook written by those who don't just want a round done quickly. They want it perfect, aligned to values, vision, and velocity. That's why finishing a round in 48 hours isn't just a measure of speed. It's a sign that you've assembled the right constellation of people who burn with you, who get what's impossible until it becomes inevitable. It all boils down to mastering three things that sound almost too simple to be real, but separate the slow from the fast: clarity, connection, and credence. Clarity means crystal clear vision and offer that cuts through the bullshit and gets straight to why your startup exists and why it's urgent to back it now. Connection means the right voices, not thousands, not hundreds, but the few whose commitment creates a surge, amplifying reach without noise. Credence is the currency of trust so genuine it transcends paperwork and negotiation, meaning money flows like water because everyone believes in the force behind the vision. Without all three firing at once, the process drags. With all three, time bends. But how is such intense alignment built so fast? The answer lies in mindset and rituals most founders reject as too soft or human. The founders who win fast rounds understand intimacy as a weapon. They communicate relentlessly. They listen not just to answers, but to silences, those gaps where truths hide. They craft narratives not from spreadsheets, but from human stories, hopes, fears, and absolute certainty. They don't just pitch, they magnetize. They don't just talk, they create resonance. When investors call, it's no longer a stranger deal. It's a conversation with an ally, a partner, a comrade rallying for a shared future. You feel it. This hunger, this rage against waiting, against rejection, against the suffocating slow burn that eats your soul. This is where raw emotions fuel breakthroughs. The founders who get deals in 48 hours don't look away. They plug into that fire. They use it as surge, as momentum, as proof they are alive and unstoppable. They throw out the templates others cling to and rewrite playbooks burned by real-world grind, intuition, and guts. Remember, every lost day is more than a delay. It is a betrayal of your own fire. Closing fast is reclaiming that fire from the jaws of inertia. Let this sink in. Around you, others are stuck in endless loops, blind to how thin the veil of rules really is. While they debate valuations and strategize indeterminably, the lightning round founders are already signing letters, shaking hands, launching launches. How? Because they didn't just learn to pitch. They learned to lead realities, to forge networks that aren't just transactional, but transformational. Don't settle to be one of the many noisy founders. You are meant to be a node in the movement that rewrites everything. Every moment spent on old scripts is opportunity stolen from your reality becoming true. In the end, closing rounds in 48 hours isn't about shortcuts. It's the ultimate form of mastery. It's about mastering yourself, your network, and the collective pulse of everyone who believes in making the impossible immediate. You don't need more contacts. You need better ones. You don't need more info. You need sharper insight. You don't need faster hustle. You need smarter battlefield awareness. The lightning-fast close is a storm created when preparation meets cutthroat alignment and unstoppable will. And these storms do not ask for permission. They charge through inertia and leave only results. So what if today you stopped waiting? What if you chose to burn, not to bend? What if you forged not just a startup, but a force so potent that investors aren't asking if they should join, but how quickly they can? The world won't hand you speed. You must take it. Fierce, unrelenting, and clear-eyed. Build your network like a fortress of fire, shape your offer like a beacon no one can resist, and show up not as a beggar but as the storm itself. Because the difference between waiting weeks and closing in 48 hours is the difference between a life in slow torment and a life ablaze, unstoppable, liberated. There will be resistance. The past always fights back. The system clings tight. Doubts howl. But inside you is an ember hungry to become inferno. Feed it with every conversation, every connection, every bone-deep belief that speed and precision aren't fantasy. They are your birthright. This is where founders become legends, investors become believers, and time becomes your ally instead of your jailer. Don't just dream about closing fast. Own it. Live it. Breathe it. Turn every second into a spark that lights the way for the few who dare join you. This is the power of the rare aligned, the force that closes rounds fast and remakes the future. The question is no longer if you can do it. The question is, will you?